Welcome back, everybody. You are listening to Emily's Energy Corner on All About Healing, and it's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon, and we just had Jennie Lee on the phone, and she wrote the book Breathing Love, and that is meditation in action, and it is a stunning book, and I really enjoyed her. You know, there's just certain people that you talk to that you just know if you met in person, you would be really good friends, and more than likely somewhere down the line, you're probably going to do some course together or be on something together because she's really my kind of people. So if you guys get a chance, get the book and follow her. That's really fantastic. I want to go into something that I've been really thinking about a lot lately, which is you know that I wrote the book, The Body Heals Itself, and I talk about the tie of muscle memory into your emotion because I believe that the emotions live at the belly of the muscle, and that when we do the body work, we can approach somebody's body and get to their emotional side and help them to release trauma and body memory. So, but there's more. There's more, and I'm really starting to explore this in a deeper way, and hopefully you'll see it sometime later in print. But it's not just about the muscle memory. The cellular memory is different than the muscle memory, and the tissue memory is different than the muscle memory. But all of these body systems come with a memory. And it's not just the mind and it's not just the muscle. And even in Chinese medicine, they talk about that the memory moves through the blood and the plasma. And that's how we carry memory through our body, is through the plasma. Which I think is really something to stop and think about, because our body memory is the key to changing our healing and to affect healing and to affect our whole permanent change into healing. So Jennie today and myself talked about she's been through extreme grief and I've been through extreme fear and panic and anxiety, and that she acknowledges fear but no longer will let fear guide her in her life. And I'm the same way, but it took so much doing, and I want to talk about that because something came to my attention that made me realize the value of locking into whole body memory to affect change. And we can't do that if you don't feed your body the right memories to create, and the right experiences. Your body has to feel these experiences. So I want to talk a little bit. I'm not talking about feeding through your diet, even though we all know that diet is so incredibly important, but it's not something that I want to get into. It's feeding yourself the proper behavior patterns, thought patterns, experiences. So you have to change some of the things that you're doing in your life to create those experiences. And then once you can feel those experiences, and not just as a fleeting glimpse of an experience, but to really experience it in a way that can lock into the memory systems of the body to affect change forever. And I'm going to give you two examples. One is about my anxiety. So for 7 years, I fought anxiety and panic, and I did it through the emotional body and the spiritual body and the energetic body. But I didn't do it through the physical body because I didn't understand that my physical body was in need as well. And when I say that, I don't mean that I wasn't exercising or doing things physically. But for me personally, and it always makes people a little uncomfortable when I talk about medication, because people on the holistic side think that medicine is like the devil, and people on the physical side think that medicine is the only way. It's not. It's never the only way, but it's also not the devil. Sometimes you actually need medicine to save your life. And in this case, I needed it to save mine. So I had done all this cognitive therapy, hypnotherapy, EMDR therapy, acceptance and commitment therapy. I did it. I saw psychiatrists. I saw psychologists. I saw psychics. I did spire walking. I did soul recovery and extraction. I did everything that you can possibly do for your energy body and your emotional body and your spirit body. But I neglected the physical body because I didn't understand that my brain was so far out of balance that it did need some help to stabilize the chemicals in my brain. And I did end up taking a child's dose of a medicine that really brought me back to life. But it did what I'm talking about. It gave me enough understanding when I recognized my eyes in the mirror and thought I saw somebody that I thought died years ago and never could come back. And I recognized me in the mirror. And I'm not on that medicine anymore, but it did affect the change that I need to put it into my memory systems to lock down to make that change. And that is that I could finally experience life without fear running it. And that was huge for me. It was the game changer. It's why I'm here. It's how I can host a radio show now and put myself out there and write books, because I'm not afraid anymore. But it's because I finally got to experience what life is like, not being terrified at every turn, and then locking it into my body so that I can now stand vigilant against anything that could compromise that, and keep myself healthy and know where things are out of balance and what part of my body that might be issuing from, and then make those changes. And that's what Jennie was talking about too, that she no longer lets fear, she'll switch the gears to make sure that fear is not the runner. And it's the same thing. I had a person in my life that made life just hard. She just made it hard. She or he, whoever, made it hard. And they were removed from my life just long enough, and nothing happened to them. They're not sick. Nothing tragic happened, so I don't have the guilt aspect to it. But they were removed from my life in a way that allowed me to remember what my life was like without them in it. So let's say that it's a lover. Let's say that you had your heart broken, and you finally get away long enough to remember what your life was like before they came, or without them in it, without the things that brought you down. And once you can experience it in such a way, enough times, that you can lock it into the muscle memory, tissue memory, cellular memory, and mental memory, or actual memory. Once the whole body comes together in unison to lock into its memory system what it feels like to be healthy, what it feels like to be happy, what it feels like to feel restored. And whether that's through a physical means, whether that's through a surgery or through a doctor or through medicine or through herbs or through counseling or through acceptance and commitment therapy, EMDR therapy, hypnotherapy, whether it's through colon hydrotherapy, it might be something that needs to be removed. I don't know the answer, but I do know that if you go searching and you experience and treat all those aspects of the body, the different layers of the body, enough so that you can feed your body memory systems the new way to experience life, it will change your life, and it can provide permanent and lasting healing so that you can live the best life you're capable of living. And think about that, really, that it is feeding those layers of the body. It is feeding your muscle memory, but it's not only your muscle memory, and it's not just in the mind. It's not just cognitive therapy, but all of those matter, of course. But it's also re-experiencing or first-time experiencing life without that stimulus that causes you pain, anger, frustration, sadness, fear, etc. But experiencing life without that stimulus in it can affect the body memory systems so much that your whole body will rearrange itself to accommodate your new perception of reality. Your whole body will change the dynamics of what it is. People lose weight, or they get healthier, or they find an avenue that can provide them the discipline that they've been looking for, or the teacher shows up. But the teacher shows up because you put that as your intention. And this is the same thing. You're putting this into the intention that you're going to change the body memory systems and feed it something that can affect change for you and bring you back into the now, into a new now, into a new present moment, and into a completely different future. And I want that for you, and I celebrate that in me. And it took me a while to figure out how to put that into words, because people would call me that knew me when I was going through hell, when I was constantly panic-stricken and I don't know, making up excuses why I always had to leave, because I didn't tell people that I suffered from anxiety and panic, because God forbid I looked like I don't have it all together, and somebody even told me, you're a mastermind, you're a manipulator of emotions, because nobody can read you. Nobody knows when you're out of balance because you are so good at manipulating the energy. But now I don't have to manipulate, I don't have to fake it. What you see is what you get. And I finally freed myself and told the world, yes, I suffer from anxiety, and now I don't. And that's why, and that's how. So that was today's Emily's Energy Corner. You guys have been listening to All About Healing, and I hope to see or hear you back next week. Thanks so much, everybody. Make it a great week. Bye-bye.